So I'm out here on the back of my property, way behind the barn. And I don't know if you can tell it, but it's all uphill going to the barn. And it also slopes to the right. One of the things I've been wanting to do, where the edge of the woods starts, whoever had this property before me or before that, somebody had pushed a bunch of dirt up in piles along the edge. And then over the years, small trees and brush have grown up, and it creates quite the barrier. And now that I have a tractor, I would like to try to push some of those trees over and move some of that dirt out of the way. Now this hill is going to play heck with me, and that tractor's pretty light and tipsy, so I want to be real careful. But today, one thing I'm going to do is just see what I can do. I may even get the brush hog on the back at some point and see if I can just back over some of this stuff and chop it down. I just want to do a little damage and see if I can get that cleaned up a little bit. There's old Frank. Somebody got a hold of Frank and gave him an ugly haircut. You've heard of ugly sweaters? Well, he got an ugly haircut. He doesn't like sitting still, and I'm no expert with those clippers, but anyway, we got some of his golden locks cut off. All right, let's go get the tractor. So I've got y'all set up in the shade, and we'll see what we can capture. I'm gonna start digging at that brush and that dirt over there and see what happens. So what you're about to witness here was 2.5 hours of me working this spot and one other spot, trying to move some dirt around and maybe clear some trees and bushes and get it level. I tried to edit it down and speed it up as much as I dare. So I hope you're happy with the results as much as I was. I've made the statement before that I find a lot of crap buried around here. I don't know what this was yet, but right here it says pull and push. I don't know. Frank. Anybody need a T-post? what are you doing, buddy? What are you doing? You coming to check on me? You heard me stopped up. You're ready to go, aren't you? Right here I got the tractor stuck, and I didn't want to go forward because it's downhill and there's a bunch of brush up in there. But one thing I learned is whenever you get stuck, move anything that'll move. And so I kept moving stuff around. The front wheel was in a hole and it was lifting the back wheel up off the ground. So finally I just gave up and decided maybe I ought to go forward. Alright, so it's not perfectly flat, but I got rid of the mound at the edge of the tree line, and I also probably backed it up another anywhere from 4 to maybe 10 feet in there. And I may go ahead and get rid of this little island of trees here. I don't know, I mean, whatever. I'm just trying to make some progress. I've been on this property 3 years. And lately, I'll show you over here, lately I started taking my mower and just going through where I could see a clearing. And now is actually a good time because the vines aren't growing, and you can, even over there, you can see some clearings. But like right here, this last year, I drove way up in there, and now that I've done what I've done, I'll be able to run the mower through some other places or clear some trails. Trying to get the underbrush and all these vines out of the way. And don't have to do it all at once. I just want to make some improvement every year, try to make the land look a little better, a little cleaner. But none of that was there this last year. You couldn't even see through there. So that tractor definitely helps with all of that. I'm still learning. I'm still learning how to use the tractor. Being that it's so small, when you put that box blade down, and this is the same thing with a mower too, when you put it down and then you go over a bump, this land is very bumpy and hilly, and anytime you go over a bump or down into a dip, it lifts that back end or lowers it, so you don't get an even drag or an even cut if you're using the mower. But there's definitely lots of ways to use this tractor, and I'm real happy with today. And then the next time I mow, I'll be able to get out here with some clippers and maybe do a little bit of clipping, and then also run my mower down in there. But yeah, there's definitely more cleared out, so that's good. I'm going to pick up that trash up there that I found, that metal. I don't know what it is, and I'm maybe going to get some of these big pieces of timber and take them to the burn pile. So all right. So I figured out what this was. This was an old table saw top. This push-pull right here is the switch, or was. Yeah, there's a switch right there, and there's a plug right there. This might have been one where you attach your circular saw to. But there's the top. This is where the blade would have ridden, right here. Yeah, that's an old tabletop of a saw. Table saw.